Welcome to week 4 of our class. I'm going to go ahead and get into our folder for the week. If you go into here, you'll see the first thing we're doing is beginning your research, so click on that folder. When you get in here, you'll just talk about the first idea is choosing a topic. As you read through here, please take note of what I said about abortion. Please do not write about whether or not abortion is moral or whether or not it should be legal. If you're going to write about abortion, it needs to be in relation to something to do with public funding. If you have any other questions regarding that topic, please email me before you proceed any further with that topic. When you get out of this folder and you go into the next folder, you'll see that we've actually already been here with possible topics. You may write about the same topic that you use for your causal analysis, but please make sure that you run it by me first. You will be putting your topic, you'll be posting it in a discussion board so I can look at it there as well. You could also talk about any of these. These are just links, like I told you, to articles that I've already had. But you might want to choose something that's even more current. Like right now, if you're interested in whether or not monuments should be taken down, that would actually be a really good topic. So you would want to explore something like that. So when you get out of that folder and you go down into right here, another folder is looking at current legislation. This would absolutely help you. This is a pretty fun thing to do. The first one is Kentucky Bill Watch, and I'm going to show it to you right here. You'll have to create an account, but this will allow you to search for bills. I encourage you to just play with this because you can use summaries and court documents and from this website as one of your sources or as some of your sources. So if I wanted to go to here, I want to look at a bill relating to a topic, and I'm not sure if it's going to be right now. I wanted to talk about monuments. I'm really not sure where that's going to be. So it says topic. I think I might want to go back to a keyword instead. So for here, and right now I would just enter that. So I put hold on, I'm not doing that right, removal, and I would just see what we have here, and I don't know, there may or may not be something. So I will go ahead, once you've done that, you go back over here, you'll go down to here, I have one, I'm going to delete this one, but so if it's about monuments or monument removal, you'll look for bills. And right now you can see that there are some here, but you'd have to read through here to see if any of it actually has to do with the topic that you're actually looking for right now. And as I look at these, I don't see that. So you could actually just keep going around and playing with this until you find something, because I don't know if there actually is something about removal of monuments right now. This would be a good place for you to look. Okay, so maybe we put statues, okay, something like that. Maybe you would go there and see if something is here. And again, we don't know. Okay, so that's why you're taking the time to search for this. And again, as I look through here, I don't see anything for that. But anyway, make sure you just go through here and find something, because take the time to do this because it would be pretty fun. But let's say instead, we actually did find something, and maybe we came across something for child support, and we want to go here. Okay, you can click on this, and what's good about tracking these is that you can see the history of what happened with this bill. So you can see that with this bill, it says the posting was withdrawn on March 12th, so this bill did not pass. It just died. Okay, but you could actually view the details, and this is the document that you could actually use as one of your sources. If you actually use wording from one of these documents, there is a folder within last week, and I can move it to this week as well, about how to cite a government document. Okay, so from there, you can also go to congress.gov, and this website is just like the Kentucky website, but this is for all of the United States. So this would be bills and legislations at the federal level. So you could go through here and play with this as well. Because if you're talking about, like even right now, maybe we should try this at the federal level. Maybe there is something about monument removal right now at the federal level. And again, I don't know. I'm just like you. I'm looking this up. So I look here. Okay, well, the Robert E. Lee Statue Removal Act, that's interesting. I've never seen that. So what I would do, what's good is I can look at this and see who actually sponsored this. And that's important for you to know, because if you were to talk about this in your essay, you would refer to this Republican Representative Anthony Brown. Actually, he's a Democrat, but Anthony Brown, you would talk about, you would use his name within your essay. But also, mainly what you would do, though, is that if you want to look at the bill, you would just click on it, and it's going to take you down here and talk more about like the summary and what it is. So again, this would be something really good if you're writing about monument removal right now, if that is your topic. Okay, you would want to make sure that you have this, because if you're arguing for removing these monuments, you'll see that we already have in the legislature right now a proposition to do so. Even if you're arguing about not removing them, so that would be the opposite, you would still want to refer to this actual piece of legislation because it's current. If you have any other questions about that, please email me, and I'll be more than happy to talk you through it, because it's absolutely pretty interesting. Down here, you'll just see some other things about bill effective dates, if that will also help you. But let's get out of here and go into our actual assignment. You need to post your topic right here in the discussion board. And then from there, we're going to go into the assignment. The first assignment is the annotated works cited. And I have the actual assignment right here already pulled up. So if you look down, the actual assignment is right here. And I'm going to bring the assignment over, and this is the assignment. So within this, what you're creating is a works cited page that includes summaries and evaluations within each entry. So you have to have 8 sources. 5 must be from electronic database. So that means 5 of your 8 must come from the library databases. If you look at this week's folder, I've included a link to a video to remind you how to use EBSCOhost, and I've also included a link to the library. Within that, after that, you can use other sources. You can have your other credible websites. Could be, you could have 2 websites plus perhaps a documentary. Maybe you saw something on Netflix. You can actually use a documentary. And when you do that, you'll just have to make sure that you go into the video repository and to remind yourself of how to cite a documentary, which would be like how to cite Netflix. I also had that in the folder from last week, so you can go there as well. So with this assignment, you're making a regular works cited page, but you have to have these entries. So within the works cited, after you have the entry, your annotation will be 3 to 5 sentences, and that's summary. So you're going to summarize the article in 3 to 5 sentences. Then after that, you must include 2 to 3 sentences evaluating that article or that source if it's a documentary, okay, or if it's from maybe one of the Kentucky.gov. So I actually have, there's a sample here too for you to see, and I'm going to bring that over here. So this is a sample of just one entry, and you can see right here it has, this is the actual entry. Notice the hanging indent. I am absolutely looking for this hanging indent. You have to have this. After that, you can see that within this, if you read it, and I'll let you read it on your own, you have summary. Okay, so if you look at this, I can look at this first part here, and that I kind of just highlighted, and that is actual summary of the article. Notice that it is in third person. There is no I or you in this summary. Then after that, we have an annotation that the rest of the annotation describes the evaluation. Okay, so mainly it's just a couple of sentences of what the actual, evaluating why this is a good source. Why would this be a source that someone would choose to use when writing a research paper? Again, notice this is written in third person point of view. Do not put I or you. Okay, so there's that. So that's just what one entry would look like. I have a sample also that's on there, and I'm going to show it to you, of what an entire bibliography will look like. So here is one, and from a real student did this, and she talked about fluoride. So you can see that the sources are in alphabetical order. There are hanging indents for each of the entries. You have the entry with all of the information, and then under that you'll see that this article, this person is reviewing this article, and part of this is summary, and then the rest is the evaluation. Okay, so the evaluation is mainly right here. Okay, so if you can see that, there's the evaluation. So do not forget this, since this is the biggest issue with this assignment. Many students will forget the evaluation. And so after that, you scroll down, and you can see this person had 8 sources. Okay, so this is what it will look like. All right, so you can do that on your own and look at all of those samples. Everything you need is right here. Okay, so that good one right there is what I had just said. And there's also a rather short video that you can write if you need some more help about how to make an annotated bibliography. But mainly before doing that, make sure you watch the PowerPoint, because your textbook does not include any information regarding how to make an annotated bibliography. So you are relying on the annotated bibliography PowerPoint as well as this video. If you have any other questions, please email me or put them in the place in course content where it says contact your instructor or questions for the instructor. Okay, so here's that tutorial you'll need for EBSCOhost. Here's the link to the library. There's a self-review before you turn it in, and then this is where you do the submission. All right, so if we go back out and we just get into, that was week 4. If there's anything else that you have any questions about, please make sure you email me. And other than that, that's it. Have a good week.